Okay. Good morning, my friends. So today's a double portion for this week. Nitzavim, which means standing firmly, and Vayelech, he went, Moses went. So there's just so much good stuff in here. It was really hard to pick out just what I wanted to focus on. So here's from Nitzavim. So Moses is speaking and saying, I'm not only making this covenant and this oath with you, with both those standing here with us today before the eternal, and with those who are not with us here today, which means us. It's so cool that Moses had the foresight to know that this Toyrah and this whole series of events was so huge and represented the dynamics of being human, that it would live on for all these generations. And that's really the crux of both of these parshiot. And the word today is repeated 5 times, and we're going to explore that later. So just keep that in mind. And Hayom, today, is not just today, obviously, because we see in the context that it's really referring to eternity, and that today is the ever-present now. It's informed by the past, and it fuels the future. So every moment is Hayom. And then Moses goes on much later in the chapter. See, I've given you today a choice of life and good, or death and evil. For I'm commanding you today to love the eternal, to walk in the eternal's ways, to observe the commandments. Just kind of paraphrasing here. And then the eternal will bless you in the land to which you are coming to take possession. And I've mentioned before that land in the Hasidic sense is understood to mean your inner landscape. So what's with this, life and good, death and evil? Because Jews don't focus on death. We respect it, we of course support the mourner, but life is about what's happening, the changes that we experience all the time. And to focus on even when the pain, that things are always moving. Death, nothing, it's just not moving. So if you focus on the past, it's a kind of death. And if you're worried about the future, that's kind of a death too. So with Rosh Hashanah coming around the corner, I was thinking about all this, and time to reclaim our land, our inner landscape. Have weeds of false starts grown where you intended a richer harvest? And what can we do to make sure that we have fertile ground to plant new seeds for the next today? Even though Moses spoke these words in the distant past, we're included in that ancient community through the use of the word today. Every day, the world is created anew. It's something that Reb Charlie would intone very often, and he would say we have to find God anew, we have to find love anew, and he would just go on and on. And it is in the morning prayers, but he would say it as his own. And, if things don't work out today, as paraphrasing Miss Scarlett and Gone with the Wind, tomorrow is another today. You always have another chance. and bringing in our ancestors, they're brought into eternity. And when we teach the next generation, we find our place in eternity too. So now I will move on to Vayelech. So Moses says to the children of Israel, and I love this, that we're children of Israel. We're not adults of Israel, because children are always developing. And so are we. I just love this. Now write for yourselves this song and teach it to the children of Israel. Place it into their mouths so that this song will be for me as a witness to the children of Israel. I love the word song, shir, and shir also means poem. So, well, what does this instruction mean, that we're supposed to physically write the whole Torah? I mean, how many of us would do that? None of us, yeah. Of course, we have scribes, and they are trained to carry on the ancient tradition of physically copying the Torah word for word on parchment, which I think is very cool. But there's deeper meaning to this, which I want to explore. So it says song, not story, not document, although it is a document, but it's a different kind of contract. It's a contract with the eternal. So song also means poem. And when you look at a poem, there's all these different meanings. And as you read it, you bring your life to it. It resonates something in you. And then it can change you. And as we explore the Torah in all the different ways that we can, with gematria and phrases and repetitions of words, we mine different meanings from it. And that can change our lives. And then, so we look at the Torah differently each time, which is why we go around each year reading it. And hopefully we're changing as we read it and study it and learn it. And one way we do it is with the Passover Seder. We have a Haggadah. And that's a way, and when we talk about the freedom and from oppression, we bring in current events. And every year there's some form of oppression. And the Torah, that's what I love about the Torah, is it speaks to the most salient aspects of all of our lives. And we all struggle and we all prevail, hopefully, that we're not knocked down, and we lift each other up. And I learned something from Rabbi Ingber this weekend, that Haggadah comes from Lahagid, and there's many different ways of saying to tell or to say, Amar, Diber, but the Hagid is to tell of difficult things. And the Torah, the whole Torah is all about struggle. And our lives are about struggle. And so so obviously the Torah is a reflection of humanity's struggle. And when you think about just a few generations ago, our people, our relatives, were oppressed, and they didn't have the Sea of Reeds that they went through. They crossed an ocean to get here, and then they made lives for themselves. So writing this Torah is about our lives, and I want to suggest a writing assignment or experience, if you will, and to see how moments in the Torah, I'm going to just give broad strokes, how it directly reflects our lives. So, Gan Eden, a time of innocence. Of course, we think of childhood, but also a time of trust, and when things are going well. And then things don't go so well. Something happens and it ends. So that's one. Abraham leaving his home. So what types of false values did you need to break away from in your life? Sent you packing. Then there's the freedom from Egyptian slavery, oppression. Personally, as an adult, what changed from good fortune to a sense of helplessness and confinement? And then Moses, I mean, Jacob and Sarah, you can do this with each one. So Deuteronomy is kind of all about Moses. So Moses, the leader, who or what led you to your personal freedom? Who were the teachers in your life? Who opened your mind to the new ideas that fueled your resolve? So the Torah describes many miracles, and even in the face of miracles, the children of Israel managed to lose patience, argue with their teacher, and break the divinely inspired rules. This is not a story of a perfect people. Neither are we. So the important thing is that as we continue to read the Torah every year, we come to the end of this chapter in our lives, and we read the Torah again and again. And we keep mining gems of our holy Torah. So as I said earlier, Shir, song, is also repeated 5 times. So I like to bring today 5 times, Shir 5 times. So every day we're rewriting the story of our lives. And Hey is the letter of aliveness. There's 5 levels of soul. There's 5 fingers on each hand. There's 5 senses to experience the world. And even the structure of the letter Hey is like a dalet, which is the dalet of humility, with an upside down yud, which is the spirit of holiness. And the dalet is a doorway. So Cantor Michael Aswarmis said, I bow in humility and the divine enters. So we take each moment with humility and we read the Torah and make it our own, and the divine hopefully enters. Departi.